Hey everybody, how's it going? Awesome. Well, so I'm Clever Like. We're going to be doing a live stream today, focusing on a project that we're in the midst of working on. So we wanted to kind of show you a little bit of behind the scenes work of kind of what a project looks like when it's coming to shape, how the planning process started, and kind of where we are, kind of right in the middle of the project. And I have two very special people with me. I've Gatlin Shadow and Ace Unhacked. Let's go straight to our special guest, Ace Unhacked, and give us a quick introduction about yourself, Mr. Ace Unhacked.
Introduction about myself. Hey, hi. I'm Ace Unhacked. I'm Australian, game developer. Working for Cleverlike full time. So I make a lot of the projects that you see come out of Cleverlike. Yeah.
Yep. And yeah, he's awesome to work with. I get to 7 p.m. or so in my time. I get to start a new day down under with my buddy in Australia. We have a good time watching him work on stuff. Yeah. and of course we have the super artiste and technical genius, creative director, Gatlin Shadow.
You keep dropping this G word at me. I don't know if I can stand up to that. That's
gorgeous,
hard, man. Gorgeous. There we go. I'll take that one. I'll take gorgeous. I like that one. And Rizio, welcome, my friend.
Oh, hey, is he awake? You want to join?
I mean, yeah, we can bring him in.
I mean, I'll send you an invite if you want to join. It's probably
2 a.m.
Yeah, it's probably not a very good time, but there's an invite for you if you want to join us. You're welcome to join us. Maurizio's our artist in Italy, which is the worst possible time for him right now.
What time is it there right now? Good Lord, man.
Yeah.
I thought I didn't sleep with the kid. Good Lord, he's constantly working.
Right, these people voluntarily doing that stuff.
I appreciate your hard work, though. By the way, it's kind of fun to like walk into a world that Ace has been working on, because I live in a totally different world, and I walk into there and I'm like, oh my god, like this is great. Like, look, everything's working. This is so cool. It's beyond my coding ability. So I appreciate all the work that you're putting in on this, man.
Yeah, it's super fun. Great problem solver, great guy to work with, very creative, and good Minecrafter. Finds all the tricks and troubles. Predicts where all the kids are going to find a way. Like, we have to draw the line. At some point we have to draw the line on all the different ways we could avoid people from trying to hack the game. And when they cross over that line, he's like, I knew it. That was funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about this Junior Solar Sprint. This is a solar vehicle competition that the Army Education Outreach Program and the Technology Student Association, the TSA, in high school, kind of collaborate on those. And we're working with NASEF, the National American Scholastic Esports Federation, North American Scholastic Esports Federation, which is also now gone global and providing curriculum and career pathways through the video gaming industry, which is super awesome. So we get the pleasure of working with a great bigger team on these projects, but we're responsible for making the Minecraft world. And that can be a little daunting at times, but also pretty fun. But before we get into it, who likes puzzles? Nobody answers. Okay,
I'm all about them. Like,
nobody answers.
We've been playing them every night now. So if you stiff me now, we're gonna have fun.
All right. So, I haven't shown this one. This is the first one I made. This one I thought was kind of easy, but it's a little tricky. You can get the first part. So this, let me set the stage for people that haven't seen this before. This is a Rebus puzzle, and this is like a picture that that equates to a phrase. So if you decipher the picture, it'll say some kind of phrase that isn't necessarily immediately obvious, but with a little curiosity and ingenuity, you can figure it out. So the couple, what you do is start noticing the different things here. Like, so you have go and beyond. And so, like, if you think of like a phrase that has those words in it, it's missing something. And so, like, if you look at the location of the words, sometimes the size of the words matters. In this case, the size of go doesn't matter, but its location matters relative to and beyond. So it's above. So go, above, and beyond.
Yeah, I got that much. I'm trying to figure out the last half of it. Is it just
Right.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so this one I thought was my little stretch, and I think a lot of people get stuck on this one. And so what do you see wrapped around the?
They look like dog tags.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's a video game that uses that on their logo.
Oh, I don't know what game that is though.
It's something about a call of.
Is it really the Call of Duty series?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, that would have been my first guess, but I'm not much. See.
Yeah. So that one was a little crazy. So let's go above and beyond the Call of Duty.
I gotcha.
So we're gonna get rid of those, and yeah. Oh, I like this one. I think this one could be pretty tricky because but it's pretty simple after you know the answer.
Like I'm thinking the cart before the horse, something.
Yeah. Well, what is the thing on the right? What do you call
definitely
that?
a truck.
What kind of truck?
It could be an El Camino.
Let's call it a Ford F-150.
Okay, we'll get real specific.
So what kind of truck is that?
The pickup truck.
There you go. And where is it related to your dog?
Okay, it could be right.
Yeah. Before or
after.
So pick up after your
Pick up
dog.
after your dog. That is groan worthy, but excellent. I love it.
It's like once you know it, it's there. But it's a tricky one to decipher. I think it's like the way the truck is facing, and yeah, it's like it's interesting. Like I just feel like these kinds of puzzles are cool because you get to kind of think through all your iterations. Like you guys were going through different types of vehicles, so thinking about the location, the types of vehicles, your problem solving, coming through all the different possibilities, inferring what you know and stuff like that. And that a lot of that is the process of game development. And so that's why I like to do these kinds of things, because it kind of helps strengthen that muscle. This one I feel like is pretty easy.
Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah.
All right. Who wants to answer it?
I feel like we're on like a dating game now. I love watching the
Yeah. Exactly. Yep. So the word walks is like really long, and it's sitting on the beach. So long walks on the beach. This could be easy. It's kind of
I think I've seen this one before. Yeah.
Yeah.
This has got a little bit of geometry to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Parallel parking. This one is
Oh, got it. That one's fun. Geography. Here we go.
Yep. So you have one coast and you have two coasts. So coast to coast. So what's interesting is the more of these kind of puzzles you do, you start to realize that there's more. There's recurring themes, and then you start getting better at solving these because you've seen more stuff. Exactly, coast to coast. So that's another thing that I feel like aligns with game development, and just problem solving in general. Doesn't have to be necessarily just coding. It could be anything in life, but iterating, being creative, thinking outside the box, coming up with. That's what I should do. I should put the word thinking in the blue border. Thinking outside the box. I'll have to do that. All right, cool. So I am going to switch over to. I'll do a quick screen share to talk to you guys about the setup for this, and then we'll switch over to Ace's screen. And I think we have we're all three be able to join your world, Ace, so you'll be able to share to us.
Cool. Sounds good.
That'll be cool. Entire screen. Share audio. And let me remember to put it up on the stream. Yay. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the Junior Solar Sprint. So you can see it's a competition. They have a website about it, so you can see that basically they have this competition where you get these certain constraints. You have to build this solar vehicle that operates just off of sunlight, and it has to race down this track. And there's certain ways that you have to build your vehicle, and things you have to learn. You have to build a circuit that switches between solar panel and battery. In case there's no sun, you can switch to battery, and it's got all the rules and all the cool learning that happens inside that competition. So we're tasked with, like, how do we create this in Minecraft? So first of all, now you get to that thinking, like if that's the ask, where do you go with that? Like there's no other person telling you what to do. Like you have to decide what it is and how it works. And so that's kind of what we're looking at. And so what we did was created a little planning document and talked about a design for the map, which this was one of our early layouts of the map. We were going to build kind of like a main lobby area, 4 different building areas where you can learn about the different, what we decided were the essential pieces of a solar vehicle. So one would be the solar panel. So you're going to have an activity where you get to create your vehicle solar panel in Minecraft, and how you do in that activity will determine how good your solar panel works. And you're going to learn a little bit about how solar panels work in that process. The next activity would be your motor and your gearbox. Another important thing is how you're going to take that energy and convert it into some form of movement. And so we're going to do an activity that will decide how good your motor is and how good your wheels and your gearing is on your vehicle. And you'll be learning a little bit about how motors work and how gear ratios work as well in that process. And one of the things we try to do is make these activities very Minecrafty. So they're Minecraft activities themed along the lines of the activity, and how well you do that will yield you that good of that component, right? So there's 4 components, and so we've got the solar panel, the motor, and then the next one would be the body design. So you see solar vehicles would be really lightweight, really aerodynamic, things like that, made from really good material. So you'll learn about different types of material like carbon fiber and fiberglass aluminum, things like that are used in these kind of vehicles. And you'll be participating in an activity in Minecraft that will determine how good your vehicle design is. And then lastly would be batteries. So we think it would be important to talk about, in this case, in the world of solar energy, it's abundant, and free. Solar, the sun. But when the sun is not shining, then there's nothing. So it's you're getting what you pay for there. You're getting free nothing. So batteries are essential for taking that energy during the day and storing it so that you could use it in the evening. So I think that that being an important part of the solar energy ecosystem, we have that as an activity as well, and how good your battery is will help dictate where the sun is in the world during the competition, how much output you're going to get. So we're going to the junior solar sprint focuses on 100% solar activity, solar energy, and only switches to 100% battery if there's not enough sun. And so in our case, we're still developing it, but we're trying to figure out, like, maybe we can change the balance of how it works in Minecraft so that your battery pack works to help pick up the slack when you don't have enough solar energy, which is kind of how it would work if it was like your house, for instance. So we kind of mapped out like this original idea, and then as it started to flesh out, we're updating the document and ended up getting the world completely built. And we did this build in the Minecraft Java edition using the build tools that are available to us in there. And what I'm going to do is I'll switch over to your screen, Ace. You have that shared? Yeah. So we ended up building it in Java edition, and then using a transfer tool called Chunker, which is available through Microsoft. The chunker.app is the link to it, and that converts worlds. So it'll convert this Java world to a Bedrock world, which is 1.17, which is what we need for Minecraft Education Edition. And so once we kind of got the world cleaned up and brought in, we could see, what does it look like? And he's going to try to host for us to join in, so we'll see how that goes.
So I think you could join in and explore around the map with me, but at the moment, the mini games I think will only work best in single player.
Okay.
But I'll change that. Do I hide my screen, or is it okay?
It's okay because no one should be able to join in. So Alex sign rail, or as some people call it, ladder. Alex sign rail. It's funny, we joke when we're joining worlds. There's what the pictures are and what they look like. Okay, cool. So it's asking me to download the resources and behavior pack. So I'll download that and join. Nice. All right. Well, let me creative mode off to the side over here. I'm in. Nice.
I have no idea where you spawn.
Yeah, over by the main building.
Okay.
Let's give them a quick tour of kind of like. Do you want to do that on your screen, or you want me to do that on my screen?
Up to you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're here. You're here with me. So cool. So this will be the area where you enter, and the players will spawn kind of in this area, and they'll get their marching orders. So they'll meet up with their people here. Clover that's hilarious. They'll meet up with the team here. That's going to introduce them to what's going on in the game and what they need to do to learn. There'll be some side information over here, and then on the other side, we're looking at that as kind of like your final. That'll be like your show and tell area. So it'll be a little museum style area that you will be able to put in your pictures and your portfolio and demonstrate what you learned in the process by the time you're all done. And then this little yellow square is kind of where we're going to have a vehicle where you can kind of drive yourself around, and you'll get instructions to go to the different buildings. You can see on the buildings, they're kind of labeled. And that's just kind of our labeling now. If that works and we like it, we'll keep it. If we'll add some sort of more visual cues to it as well. And then we can would be driving over to the first building where we meet up with an NPC. That's going to tell us about solar panels. And then inside of this area, we're going to be linked to the web. This is Education Edition, so NPCs can link you to the web. They'll be linked to videos where we can learn about how solar panels work. And then we have this Minecraft specific activity that'll yield you a solar panel. There's 4 levels of solar panels. Like the lowest level is one that's going to look like real clunky, big wooden frame, real simple design, not going to look very futuristic, and then as you scale up, it's going to be more sleek, slimline, and futuristic looking. And that applies to like all of the parts. So you're going to get something that looks kind of in a tier of where you scored, and your specific score is something we're going to keep and use to calculate your final vehicle speed, essentially, when it races. So Ace, do you want to talk to us about this challenge?
Yeah, so basically we are making solar panels in Minecraft from different materials. So this challenge, you have these resource dispensers over here. These 3 white carpets have some dispensers under them. And pressing the button will give you each of the resources. So we have sand. We have the base versions of the resources that you then have to smelt in the furnace and turn into the solar panels. So we have this one gives you sand, this one gives you redstone ore, and this one gives you iron ore. And then you have to take those, come over to the furnaces, you have to smelt them, and then you can turn the cooked materials, the iron ingot, the redstone dust, and the glass into solar panels here. And you've basically got 5 minutes to make as many solar panels as you can to get your best score.
Yeah, cool. And so just as a reminder to everyone, these are our prototypes. Not even all 4 of the games are implemented yet, but I think we've conceived of all 4, and we've got 2 of them kind of prototyped, and maybe we're a little we can demonstrate what the other ones, where we are at with the prototypes of the other ones. So a lot of my process is, we're like Ace and I would be working together and be talking about, okay, what we need something to be themed along this. Like, what about this? What about this gameplay mechanic? Or how can we do that? What would it work? How would it work? Can we get to the point where we can give the player a score based on how they perform? And is it kind of like fair or fair enough? And does it scale well? So there's all the different factors and the requirements that we keep overlaying. And so we iterate and go down. I'll take us down a lot of bad ideas, and this way we can check those off the list. Like nope, and then we start to pick the good pieces and pull them together. And we kind of got to this point where we have a little diner dash kind of restaurant style game here to play. Does this one work?
Not in multiplayer. This one would only work in single player.
Okay. Can you show some of the any of the mechanics on it, or like, or would it kind of mess up?
I mean,
because we're all in the world.
I think it's just the timer would mess up. I can try starting it. Actually, see what happens.
Okay.
Okay, the timer's going to be messing up, but these should still work. Yeah. I've got the dispensers here. You have to click the buttons to get your material. And then, you bring it over to the furnace, you put it in. Yeah, so each of the dispensers gives you a different material. bring it over to the furnace, and then this button here is to add fuel to the furnaces, so you can actually cook what's going in inside of them.
So we started it with the slowest possible way. Like you have to press the buttons to get things one at a time. And you can upgrade these things to get to the point where they generate things automatically for you. But right now it's like a super manual process. And you could smelt those pieces to generate a new piece of material for your solar panel, or you could spend it to upgrade. So you're kind of investing your output in an upgrade, which will help you output things faster.
Yeah, so I've got a piece of glass, which is at the moment the cost for the first tier of upgrade. So if I click this button with the piece of glass in my inventory, it will upgrade, and we've got a pressure plate here we can jump on instead of a button we have to aim at and push now.
Nice. So this way you could just keep running around, picking things up instead of standing there. The next level of update is one that runs automatically, right? And what does that take?
I need a little bit more glass. Yeah, so that takes an extra level. Like you need more materials to upgrade it again to automatic, because that's obviously going to be a lot more helpful.
Mm-hmm.
So we actually have a custom block in the game, which is advanced glass, which is 9 glass together in a crafting table. So just collecting 9 glass. There we go. So if I put in the 9 glass, we've got this advanced glass. It doesn't have a texture yet. Still very much in development.
Yeah.
But with the advanced glass now, we can run over here and we can upgrade it again. And now there's no button, there's no pressure plate, and it would just once a second automatically spit out some of the materials for us.
Yeah. And this is great because a lot of what we do with NASEF, a lot of them is really mentor driven. So we do a lot of live streams. We introduce the competition and we engage with the students in a weekly process with live streams and talking about the lessons. We try to build these in a way that we can talk about real world concepts, and the idea of like investing time and energy in improving your systems to produce more output. At first, you're taking a hit because you're not maybe making any solar panels, but you're building a system that could potentially make solar panels faster. So it's an interesting lesson in kind of reinvesting and growing and developing instead of just kind of sticking with the brute force. Yeah, so with the pressure plates, you could pick up a variety of materials a little bit faster if you just kind of run around on them.
I don't know if we want to go through like all of this.
You drop like multiple glass in different forges, or are they specific? Did you guys set it so they were specific, or it just didn't even matter which?
No, you can put whatever you want in whatever.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm just thinking like ways to like work the system. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, we did this, we put this over there, then this is there. Then sweet, that gives me 10 of those instantly, and I don't have to walk on that one anymore ever.
Yeah, that's a great idea too, because that's one of the factors here, because you have 5 minutes. Like if you overproduce materials and you can't output enough solar panels in the time, then you have like all this extra material that you wasted time building. So there's this threshold somewhere that that you have to figure out kind of what's the right timing to stop producing any more new raw materials and produce the output of final product, because you're going to be judged on the final product that you produced, not the raw materials. Matter of fact, our process could be like, should we penalize them for extra raw materials that are unused?
That's what I was starting to think. I was like, uh-oh.
And you get these real world discussions because that's real. If you have too much inventory that's not usable and not sellable, then that's a serious liability. So trying to find that balance is interesting. And
solar panel.
Look at that.
What's your top score so far, Ace? How many solar panels did you make?
In 5 minutes, I think my top score is 7. Like, I'm not very good at this game.
The other factor with a lot of these is that these games are designed in a way so NASEF is really like trying to encourage teams to play and collaboration. And so a lot of these games are going to have somewhat of an advantage for teams that communicate well. Like if you have a team where they're not communicating, then they actually could get in each other's way and be counterproductive. In some cases, a team that communicates well could have that extra work, that extra output that could help benefit them and their vehicle. And so there's reality to that we've added into a lot of these games. So a well-organized team could achieve better result than an individual, which is real.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And a poorly communicating team will do worse than a single person, which is also real, which many of us have experienced. So that's super cool. So this will run obviously the the yellow floor. So Gatlin is our he's our environment designer. So he sees all of this blankness. I bet you his skin is crawling right now just looking at the way this is set up.
I think stunned silence covers it.
This is what I love. You just kind of set him in this, and he'll turn it into the room that it needs to look like. Ace will have the functionality programming, and of course Maurizio will have all the textures that we need for our blocks, as well as our cool models. Like when you get your solar panel, you'll see the texture that was made by our artist Maurizio.
I appreciate the blank canvas, but sometimes y'all just astound me. I don't know. How can you work in an environment?
Engineers, man. We don't see the blankness. We see the beauty. We see the beauty underneath. You didn't see these.
I'm glad you see potential.
Yeah, we see the commands. We're also trying to develop this with minimal command blocks using functions and execute commands and tags and things like that. Functions. My dogs are wrestling in the background, so hopefully that's not too distracting.
I can't hear them. I'm just going to hide in the corner over here till it looks pretty. I can't.
Yeah. Well, you're the only one. Yeah, you're the only one that's going to make it look pretty. Get yourself. You should start decorating the next one that we go into.
Just do it.
But yeah, the next one's so bad. Kind of don't want Gatlin to see it.
Oh yeah. I think the next one's gonna look amazing when it's done. I have a feeling.
I'm gonna run over there now just so I can.
Oh yeah, good idea. No. Yeah, building number 2. Head on over. That's the end. For context, that's going to be the motor. Just don't mess with the as much with the yellow area, because that's all empty build area that needs to be used. Cool. And your time's up on this one, right, Ace?
Yeah, I just ended it. Yeah.
Yep. So the time would be up. You would get a score. The game would be done. You would get a score, and you'd get the option to try again. So a lot of this too is like, I get it. I could do this faster. Like again, just like we were talking about the puzzles, we want people to iterate. It's not like, oh, that's my answer. I guess I'll just live with it. No, like if you can do better, then you can try again and do better and find out. Test your different ideas against each other and be like, maybe I can come at this a different way and maybe I can get a higher score, because there's other teams around the world that are going to be doing the same exact thing, and who's going to outsmart the next person. How far do you want to go in each of these to pursue the best possible results? So I think this game is cool because you could try a bunch of different ways. You could try the manual way without going to much automation. You could go straight to automation. You could try to balance the two. You could try it with multiple players, with single players. Try it all various ways and see what your scores are. When you'll have a final score, you'll get your solar panel. You'll be asked to move on to the next challenge. So let's head. Do that as a Okay. So on to our next one, which is about your engine, your motor. Now, this is not a combustion engine. This is an electric motor, because we're dealing with solar power, not fossil fuels. And so what we thought of, if we head into this guy here, we thought what we would want to do is figure out a way to basically send an electrical pulse to these different contacts of a motor. We'll be talking about how motors work, like how a brushless motor works, with basically kind of sending electromagnetic pulses to into the motor to make it spin, essentially. So it's not going to try to mimic that motor exactly, but you're going to have to create a redstone circuit that pulses each of these different areas with redstone without overheating the motor. So if you're a really good redstoner and can come up with a really fast circuit, and maybe too fast, it may overheat the motor. So you're going to have to find out the right pace to get the most. No, is it? So where are we at, Ace? Are we at 400 or 500? You have to hit them.
400 on each at the moment.
So you have to generate 400 pulses on each motor, or each contact. We have to come up with proper names for how we're going to name these things. So you have to pulse each of the 8 things 400 times, and you'll have a timer. How long does it take you to do that? And you could there's an overheat meter that you'll see. If you overheat, the entire room will flood, and all of your redstone will be broken, because that's how our we can't risk a fire. Does this one work?
I mean, I've never tried it in multiplayer. Let me try.
Yeah, I mean, I'm game.
Let's see if that redstone melts. Let's do this.
Yeah.
I try and melt it.
Okay.
No clue if this is gonna work. Alright, so I guess I'll try and just build a simple redstone block connected to each of the engines. Obviously, I want them all to pulse. My time's already started, by the way, so if I do my building quickly, I'll get a better score.
Did I help at all?
All connected, yeah, okay.
Okay.
So let me see if I can start the clock. Oh, I got it.
Nice. Good deal. Okay, and I see Clover like 3 is
It was too fast.
Nice.
Yeah.
This is what will happen. This is what will happen if you don't.
The sprinkler system just put out your entire fire? Is that what that was?
Yeah, that's it.
It's amazing.
It destroys all the redstone. That's so cool. I noticed, like it was nice resetting second. So that's what it'll look like when you overheat it. You'll lose all that stuff. So you're gonna have to find the right kind of redstone circuit that pulses these just right. And we are going to allow you to overclock the motor. So you're going to be able to heat it up, but you just have to not over push it past the threshold. So this game is going to be a little bit of, first of all, like knowing a little bit about redstone and getting basic clocks to work and coming up with your design for how you're going to send the signal to all these contacts. And how are you going to manage the balance of speed, the safe threshold to the overclock without overheating. So we will have like a meter that'll be displayed on the wall that'll show you kind of like green to red. It'll start to fill up to let you know like when this thing is going to be overheated.
Like, can you break circuits like mid-test?
Yeah. And it'll immediately, like, it's the pulses per second. So if you stop it, it'll immediately stop the overheating process. But it won't cool down. So you could only overheat for a certain amount of time like you can't, it doesn't start to cool down so that you can overheat again and gain that time. At least that's how it is right now. Maybe we add that complexity, but the idea is that you have a chunk of time that you can overheat. And if you use that time wisely, then you can get the max. If you can get the fastest circuit in during that time, you can gain that extra speed. Then you have to go back to a safe number without overheating. If you're too close, then you flood everything. And so again, we're talking about iteration, talking about finding ways to push thresholds without pushing too far. So that's going to be an interesting one. And here you'll learn about motors and also gear ratios. We talked about like trying to do a gear ratio thing in here, and I think some of the different speeds of redstone circuits with repeaters and stuff like that could be thematically similar to that, but really like we're focusing more on the motor itself, and we'll talk to people about a gear ratio and how it translates to an actual solar vehicle. In the videos, we've got some good videos that'll play to explain that in the context of a real world solar vehicle. So this is fun. We prototyped a bunch of different tests before we got to this idea, and we think after testing this idea out and getting different scores, we came up with the number of 400. I think we originally were at 600, which was maybe a little too long. We figured out how much time does it take in the context of the rules that we created, and yeah, so be excited about that one. And that's kind of a cool one. And when you play that, you'll get your motor and your wheels. Basically, those are the two pieces of your vehicle that will be delivered to you when you finish that one. We go through, you're going to pass this building. And this is kind of like our fabrication building. It'll be closed. There'll be an NPC that tells you need to finish the 4 workshops. And when you finish the 4 workshops, they'll have your final vehicle fabricated here. So that's the little fabrication lab. And so you'll know where it is and how to get to it, because you'll be passing by on your way to building number 3. Building number 3, yes. This is the building of the vehicle body chassis. And if you look at solar vehicles, they're very sleek, slim line. A lot of them are like super flat and super curvy and thin and stuff like that. And they're made from high-tech materials, carbon fiber, titanium, aluminum, things like that. And so we thought we should do something that's kind of a building related challenge to get the better material. So Ace, how is this one set up?
So the game part of this one set up?
Yeah.
Isn't set up, sorry. But
how will this go?
Yeah, so basically this is kind of like a memory challenge, but also based on different materials in Minecraft. So we're gonna have a little build appear here with a different theme, with a different material, that kind of thing. And you're going to have a certain amount of time to look at the build, and then you're going to have to recreate the build in this square once we've then covered up this this build. So I can bring up one of the builds. I have 10 levels, 10 different builds at the moment. So just bring up the first one. Very simple. As you can tell, the material for this one's just dirt. And so you have, let's say, 30 seconds to look through this build, to memorize it, and then it will get covered up. And this chest over here has all of the tools and the material that you need to recreate the build. So you can see I've got 21 dirt in here, and then I've got some tools in case I place it wrong and need to break it. And you'll be timed on how long it takes for you to build each of the builds. So yeah, that's the first one. If I bring up the second build, we move on to wood. I've got some trees, some leaves in here, and again, all the materials are in the chest. And you go through each of the different themed builds.
Yeah, so we talked about you have
getting-
to memorize it, right? And
Mhm.
we're going to cover it up, and we'll let you uncover it if you're having trouble. We'll let you uncover it, but that'll come at a cost, right?
Mm.
So if you forget what it looks like and you're having trouble building it, finishing it, then you can uncover it for a penalty of 30 seconds. At least that's the current idea. Cool.
And these are not the final builds. This is just what I threw together. We're hopefully going to get someone more talented to actually build stuff that looks good. This is just what I threw together at like 1 o'clock in the morning last night.
This is how
These are
Ace
different
threatens
themed
the
ones,
builders. Like,
Yeah.
if you don't do it, this is what we're going to have to live with. Matt, you do
Yeah, that's
actually a
it.
pretty good job. You do a nice job. Look at that one. That one's complicated. Nice.
Yeah, as they get harder in materials, I've also tried to make the build a bit harder to memorize and a bit harder to do then. We've just got different themed ones.
It's
Dang.
cool that we're giving them the materials so they know what they need. They don't have to worry about
Yeah.
deciphering block types.
Mhm.
Yeah, you get
That's like that.
exactly the correct materials, exact number of materials and everything in the chest.
Yeah.
Nice. That's handy.
And that's
Cool.
the 10th one.
Cool. Yeah, so we're in the process now of testing, like, is 10 the right amount? And are these complexity levels right and things like that? And we'll test out the gameplay. So these we just recently conceived of these 2 games, and we mocked up some ideas, did some proof of concept. That's where we're at right now, and now we're going to implement the gameplay, play through it, get some scores, and then find out, like, does the score vary enough? Like, if we do a poor job, what's our bottom score? And if we do our best possible, what's that score? Hopefully there's a good range there, and hopefully, like, our best score could be done better by somebody else if they were creative and innovative, working together, or just more skilled than us. So we've got to make sure that there's some more top end score so that we can break that range into 4 separate categories. So you'll get the matching visual piece, which will show you kind of like how the model is being built by Maurizio. Cool. Let's go on to the next one.
So as we're moving on to the next one, something I want to point out that for people that are like, oh, I want to get into game design and do the thing. If you're going to be an artist, I'll let you know now, you're usually like the last person onto the project, and usually the first people to leave. So if some of you are like, why is this guy asking questions? I thought he was part of the team. No. Artists are always like the last one. You got to make sure the game works before the artists jump in. It's just how that works. This is we don't have yellow in here this time. What's going on?
Oh, yay! Such a great setup. What a good question. This one is the battery, and yeah, I'm curious what you guys think of this one, Gatlin, and anyone that's watching. We're talking about storage, right? So we're trying to emphasize that a battery is important in a solar circuit because it stores the energy for later use. And so how do we come up with a Minecraft game that kind of plays into this idea? So I'm not even going to explain it. Ace, does it work where it at least
Yeah.
Okay.
A certain point.
So we'll show you kind of what the game looks like. And it helps. I think if you stand over by this wall, might be visually better.
That's actually a good point. Yeah.
Bump your face this way.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So we have the day-night cycle cranking, and look at that, like sunflowers come out. And you have to go and try to harvest as much sun from the sunflowers. and as you do it, as you break them, new ones will be placed. So basically, if you don't break any, then there's not a new one being placed. So if you could clear all of them before new ones get placed, then you get the maximum. But you have to go through and try to break them. So it's as the day-night cycle is going through very quickly, new sunflowers are being planted. So it's a race, basically, how much you can break before the next ones are planted. So you get credit, so you can collect those.
Nice.
Just pure mayhem. Whoopsie, I'm in creative, so.
Yeah, you're supposed to be in survival. Yeah, this one would definitely work better as a team as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, you can cover a lot of ground.
Yeah, teams will benefit from that. But yeah, that's the idea on that one. So I mean, obviously you don't get power, you don't get energy from sunflowers, but the idea I thought was cute that we can make sunflowers catch up and you can be capturing the sun.
Can we bring in the harvester from Farmcraft? Can we use that?
Maybe that's an upgrade.
That would be awesome. Yeah, this is cool. I like this idea. This is very silly.
I mean, we might be able to like retexture the sunflowers. So it's like they have sun on top like they do now, but then the stem is like a sunbeam or something instead. So instead of collecting flowers, you're actually collecting sunlight.
Rays.
Is there a penalty for leaving them out there for too long? Do they wilt and die and then that spot doesn't grow sunflowers? Like,
no, but the problem is when we spawn a new sunflower there, it won't show up because there's already one there. So you have wasted that new seedling by not clearing the dirt.
Okay.
So the penalty is the fact that you lost that new one that could have been planted and harvested.
Gotcha.
So like right now it's trying to harvest on it's trying to plant on all those spots and all of those plants are failing, which is lost opportunity.
So we've lost like 7 days worth of sunflowers by not breaking these.
Yeah. And so that's a thing too, right? Like every day the sun, the sun comes up, you got to work. What you don't get done, is left for you to do tomorrow rather than making progress. So there could be some lessons there.
I feel like I'm going to have to break a lot of these windows to make a greenhouse in here.
Ooh, that could be cool.
Oh yeah. Matter of fact, this whole wall that you're standing on, we want that to go away.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, they were all faced this way. I'm like, we need to be able to see the sunrise from over here.
Yeah, we want the whole thing to be glass so you can see it better.
Well, your wish is my command.
Sure.
Demolition.
Get the demolition going. Yeah, so that'll be this room will definitely have that vibe to it. And I feel like that's a fun game. And what we're doing there is we're actually using the daylight sensors, which are kind of buried here. And then there's daylight sensors will generate a certain amount of redstone based on the time of day. So as the time of day moves, the redstone moves along the line here and plants the sunflowers. And then as it becomes night, it recedes. And then when it comes day again, it goes forward again. So you have that nighttime cycle to harvest. Are we still coming back the other direction as well, Ace?
No, we're not. It's only
daytime.
It doesn't really make sense for them to plant at night. So yeah, only daytime.
We had in our test, we had a night sensor from the other direction, and so the darker it got, it started planting. So as the daytime was receding, it was chasing it back the other way, planting them. So it was like planting them back and forth, which was kind of fun, but not, I guess, not as in line with the concept. But we'll see. That's where we are. I think that's pretty fun. This will yield your battery. You're going to get a score for each of the 4 things. You're going to get a visual thing. Oh, Ace, yeah, maybe you can spawn it over on the track here.
Yep.
We make it daytime. And you can see he's typing functions in there. He's created functions, which are a series of Minecraft commands in a row in a file that we save into an add-on. And there's lots of videos on our YouTube channel about how to make add-ons. And functions are things that you add into your add-on so that you can call them in game to do a bunch of steps at once. And there you go. He's showing you some code.
I like the blocks better.
Lots of different functions. It's
Yeah.
nice.
I should probably sort them out a bit better than I have, but yeah,
It's a messy process.
You're kind of the only one working on it. Like
that's true.
Yeah.
I'm the only one that has to see this stuff.
You're organized.
Now we're just broadcasting it to the world. So too bad.
Yeah.
I guess we all have to see it, but no one else has to work with it. So
I can remember.
Do you want me to?
Yeah.
There you go.
Talk about the work. Gatlin, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, I got into coding so much later in my life over the art thing. Like, I remember when I finally wrapped my head around a function, I was like, oh, that's like cheating. That's so nice.
Gosh. I'm sure you had to do it the hard way first. That's the way.
So many times.
Yeah.
I don't even want it. It hurts to think about.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about the vehicle concept here. Do you have the block bench stuff? Do you feel like showing that stuff as well? Or
yeah, I can bring it up.
Okay. Let's do the vehicle in game first, and then we could talk about block bench stuff Mauricio's working on. The other cool side tangent about block bench is like that tool was created by a young person, teenager, that was a Minecrafter that was interested in coding and found the need for, to solve a problem that they had for themselves. And it turned into basically an industry standard tool that all of the creators use to build custom models, custom blocks, particle effects, animations, all the character creator pieces that are in the store. Like, the list is endless, and the amount of things that could be produced by a tool that was essentially made by someone that came up with a solution for themselves in their bedroom when they were younger. Now as they're an adult and moving on into the world, they just have created so much great stuff. So I mean, it's inspiration for anybody. Just follow what you're interested in, and who knows where it's going to lead. Just focus on doing what you love and enjoying it. Okay, so we're going to see what the vehicle, I think vehicle number 3, this is, I believe, one that is thematically similar to like a Mustang. And he showed me like his latest textures and stuff like that. So he's probably cringing that see this blocked out texture. It looks it already looks so much sweeter with all the with all the transparencies, the glass and the grills and the racing stripes on it and stuff like that. But you can see, so what we did was from a project standpoint, we get the designer to send us your model, just cover it in some color so that we can assemble it in the game to make sure that where you're going is good and we don't have to change too much of his work. And actually, like we talked today about how we're going to make this work better so that the players can drive a version of a car, and there's also the one that's going to be the one that's programmed to race. And the way we designed that was a little bit of a tweak in the process, which I think ends up. So Ace, you don't even know that. Basically, we're going to have one texture per level. So you're going to apply with the render controller. You're going to apply the texture for that entity. So if it's the solar panel, you apply the texture for whatever solar panel it is. Based on that. Mm-hmm. And so the one texture file will be the same for all items of that level. So when he puts them all together as one vehicle, it'll be one texture that is the entire vehicle. So you'll be able to drive the 4 different style of vehicles. Your vehicle, however, will be a conglomeration of your scores from the 4 different activities. So you might have a really futuristic body with a really crummy looking solar panel and a medium motor, and decent batteries or whatever. Based on how you score on each, your car is going to be looking slightly different. Okay, so Ace, kind of walk us through how this comes together now and how you got it to work, to assemble.
Yeah, so as we've talked about, each of the activities is going to give you a different tier of one of the parts. So we've got different solar panels, we've got different like bodies. So this is one of the bodies that you can get. This is 3 out of 4. So if you do like pretty well, you can get this body for the car. And then different batteries and different. I skipped one. Which one did I skip?
The body, battery, wheels, motor.
Yeah, motor, right. Yeah. So obviously we had to have it so you can have a mixture of all of these depending on what score you get in each of the mini games. So what we've got is a bunch of different entities that we then combine into your car. So if I summon an engine, what you can see is it's literally just the engine and the wheels. So we can have each different tier of engine as its own thing. And then we've got each different tier, like of the bodies, of the solar panels. I can summon solar panel and summon batteries. So they're each their own individual entity. And what we've done is we've just basically added seats onto the entities. And so we can make each of the entities ride the base entity. So the engine with the wheels is the base entity. And so I can start putting this car together. So if I go ride.
Oh, thank goodness for the ride command.
Oh yeah, no,
it's a fairly new command to the Minecraft world where you can tell an entity to occupy a seat of another entity as long as it has permission to ride. Which doing programmatic things like this are super nice, where you can put a player into a vehicle. You can combine entities like we're doing.
Yeah, so there we go. I can put the car onto the engine, and so those two are attached now. The car is riding the engine, and so I can put each of the pieces on. So I'll do the solar panels next. Those on, and then the batteries I'll throw into the back. Okay.
Nice.
And then you've got your specific car with all of your scores, all of your different tiers built.
Yeah. Right? And so you would come over to the fabrication lab to get that vehicle built, and then you would come over to the track here. And so what we have to do is we're going to create an algorithm based on time of day and all of your factors. Like think of the solar panel is converting the amount of daylight into a certain amount of energy. The motor, a better motor uses that more efficiently. The motor and the wheels are together as one. So that sunlight gets converted through the solar panel to energy. The motor uses that energy, right? The aerodynamics of the body, like a lighter, more streamlined body, will be less drag. So it won't fight the motor as much. So you'll get more distance out of the motor if the body is lighter. And then the battery will kind of come back full circle, and when the daylight is coming down, the battery can supplement that input. So you have this cycle where we can create some kind of resulting speed and calculate how fast your vehicle is going to move. So it's not like you're going to hop in it and just race. It's going to be programmatically racing down the track. And then what we're going to do at the end once the students send us their vehicles and all their scores and things like that, we're going to have races where we are programmatically kind of on live stream racing the different vehicles against each other. It should be fun. So this is your time trials. So when you build your vehicle, you race it, you'll get a time, and you'll submit your time and your score for other pieces. And we'll kind of, as on the back end, we're kind of going to know how people are scoring and where their vehicles are going to end up. What I don't know, and I'm curious, is the movement of daylight, like if we're calculating that kind of in real time as the sun is moving, how does that affect, somebody that has a better solar panel versus a better battery, or vice versa? Like if you have a really good solar panel, but there's not much sun, and you have a really good battery, then that person could potentially beat out the person that has a really good solar panel. So these are things we'll find out as we get through, right? Like there's some answers we don't have. We have a lot of ideas and parameters and guidelines that we try to work within to get to the result we want. And hopefully we almost like a good movie, like when you have a movie with like really good actors and you let them ad lib, some of the greatest scenes are things that were not on the script. I like to think that, we have those things waiting for us, things that are unscripted. Okay, Gatlin, in terms you could understand, happy accidents. Happy with some Bob Ross terminology.
Gatlin, you're muted.
Oh, darn.
It's an official stream. I've been told I was muted.
Yeah, now it's real. Yeah. So if we've been ignoring you, now you know why.
I've been sitting silent and over here looking at this, like, oh, cool.
And,
Put a thing here. I'll put a thing there. Do some things over here.
Yeah, it's we've all seen Maurizio's work. If you've seen any of our character creator content, if you've seen Farmcraft, Metapontum World, any of our entities, he does an amazing job. So these vehicles are gonna. Yeah, I think the problem is they're all gonna, like, everybody's gonna want. I wanted like the basic one to be really up. It's probably better that it's not totally dumb. Like I was wanting the.
It's got a gas-powered engine.
Yeah, I was wanting it to just look really bad. And so I'm like, well, I mean, it has kind of more of a chunky design. This one is a little more streamlined. So it's got, like the other ones have like solid fronts with a big old bumper on it and stuff. Like this one has a grill. Like this grill is more of a mesh transparent, so you can see what's inside. And air can flow through it and out the back. So the back has a grill as well. Cockpit has clear glass and a dashboard and all that cool stuff. I was looking at that today. So, so in about a week, we'll have most of the textures done and this part ready to go. And the next piece, so let's talk about like kind of what's left in this project. The story and the flow is, we've been talking, you go here, you go there, you go here, you go there. And if anybody was watching our stream yesterday, the Hour of Code project, it was well done, and it was in a smaller contained space where you kind of like really don't have an option to wander around. And in this one, you do have an option to wander around quite a bit. So we're going to have to kind of make sure the player knows what the task is. So we'll use that action bar at the bottom to constantly remind you like what you should be doing if you get distracted. And also we'll be using different types of markers and indicators and NPCs to so you can check in along the way as to what you should be doing. So that'll be on us to communicate the flow, who the characters are, where you meet them, what they say. And each lesson, each building, each of the 4 buildings have to have a lesson about solar vehicles to match the activity. And the final one will probably have to give you instructions on how to submit your score. A link to where you submit your time to trial. And that will wrap it up. And we're just really at this point a few weeks away from finishing up this project. We've got a lot of the major hurdles done. Gatlin's going to go in and
go crazy,
detail all this stuff, make it look real nice. And yeah, I'm excited about it. It's coming together real nice. Good job, team.
Yeah. Bam.
Yeah. So this is the kind of stuff that we do, and we've done this. We did Farmcraft for the Department of State, U.S. Department of State, which is a global esports competition. Farmcraft was super exciting. We created this farming scenario with butterflies showed up, but that was just you got to learn that the butterflies were just an indicator of how bad the caterpillars were going to be later in the game. And and you could catch the butterflies and earn coins that you could use to get rid of the have ways of getting rid of the caterpillars later. You kind of get your budget, and so that game was balanced in a way where a similar deal. You play it once and be like, oh, I get it, and I'm going to try this again, and then you try it again, and then you keep coming up with better ideas each time you play it, or different ideas, and some you decide what's better or not. So yeah, that was a fun one. The weeds. One of the cool things on that one was the weeds were an entity that would drop down, and you had a certain amount of time to kill the weed before it planted itself in your crops. If you didn't kill the weed, it would turn that crop into a weed, and you would lose that the ability to harvest that crop. Very fast-paced communication. Eric's here. Eric's one of the mentors that leads the live streams for NASEF, and yeah, he's super awesome. So yeah, he's get to have a lot of the butterflies are your nightmare. Really? Wow. Oh, come on. The caterpillars are the things of nightmares. You find that when we were developing it, we didn't have a timer. Like we have them timed to kind of like auto die now, but we didn't have that. Right? So like they were crawling into the house and stuff like that, where they were wandering around. It was kind of creepy. Yeah, so I'm excited about that. Coolio. I think that's I mean that was actually a pretty long that was a pretty good amount of time. I wasn't pretty sure we weren't going to need the whole time, but does anybody have anything to add or any questions?
Nothing yet. Yeah, I think we're good.
Nice.
Can we Cody go make a caterpillar Voltron? we need to do Transformers. I think Transformers are a thing.
Oh yeah, Transformers are cool. Yeah, we can keep getting ourselves into some cool projects. Ace, can you fly straight up? You'll have decent render distance, won't you? Yeah. To show people the build.
Yeah, this map it's been really wild to kind of see it kind of turn into what it's become. Being that artist that does more of the inside stuff than the outside stuff. Like, it's nice to have like a canvas to play on top of for sure, and just to kind of watch this thing come together. It's like, what? Like, whoa. Like, this is really impressive. So you got this whole big, it's a solar thing. So, the idea behind it is a big sun. Props to our environment guy. Like, this
Adam. Yep.
Adam. Yeah. He did an amazing job with this.
he is absolutely crushing it. He's studying architecture at Cornell, so he's doing very well. And has been building in Minecraft forever.
Mm-hmm. And it shows. Like it's great stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's cool. Like the original idea was like, let's have it look like a sun, you know. So from the top down, like the imagery is going to be really cool. It's going to align with solar sprint. It's going to tie together. NASEF has the end zone branding there, which is cool because they're the ones leading this idea. They got the grant to put this all together, so they're really leading the charge on making this possible for everyone. So it's cool. It's great that we get to be part of that collaboration, and we're really happy and thankful.
Yeah.
That looks good. All right. So it looks like now we sign off and play some Rocket League. Hi, Eric. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, I think this has been awesome overview. I hope you find it valuable. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to hit us up on Twitter. You can message us on. Okay, cool. You can message us on this YouTube video, and we'll be happy to join in. So if anyone wants to join in our Rocket League game session immediately following this, hit me up. All right, everybody. Thanks again for joining. Ace, thanks for being here. Great work, dude. Gatlin, thank you as always. We'll see you tomorrow night. Tomorrow, we're going to be revealing our robotics project that we're doing in Unreal Engine. I mean, I love all my children equally, but this robotics project is pretty awesome.
Yeah, this is going to be way cool.
Really excited about showing everybody what that project is like. So awesome. Yeah. So thank you guys all for joining. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yep.
Bye, guys.
Adios, everybody.